Hello and welcome to this episode of the Online Course Creator Show. If you're new here, hi, I'm Lou Blakely, your host. And if this is not your first episode, welcome back to the show. Now, today is a quick little short episode, but it's about something that I see missing for a lot of people that's actually stopping them from having success in their online course launches. Now, this missing ingredient actually is the thing that I find trips people up the most when it comes to actually launching successfully, but often it means actually finishing the launch and seeing it through right to the end and giving your online course launch your all and being willing to do that, really. So I hope this episode serves either as a reminder for you or actually makes you realize that you actually have not had this ingredient and it's something that you need to work on. And that thing is conviction in your product and your online course and whatever the transformation is that you're offering through that product, but also conviction in yourself that you are an expert or an authority in this space. That does not mean that you have to be the world's best expert, but you need to understand and have confidence and self-trust in your ability to actually deliver and help people get the results that they sign up for when they purchase your product. Now, the reason that this is so important is because it is very, very hard for anyone, and it is going to be hard for you to show up, get visible, talk about your offer, talk about your product, if you yourself don't actually believe that it can deliver on what you say it's going to deliver on, or you're not confident in that, and then you can't communicate the outcome to your ideal audience because you don't believe it yourself. So you can see how not having this conviction in what you're offering, how not having that can have such a detrimental effect on your results. Now, I truly do believe in imperfect action and, deciding what online course you want to create and moving forward with that. But you need to do what you can to build that conviction within yourself that you know what you're talking about. And that actually usually comes because you've helped people get results in this area. You have that ability to have that self-confidence because you have achieved the results. I really think there's an epidemic online at the moment where, and I think your buyers will be feeling this too, where they have purchased things that have absolutely been a waste of money. You do not want to fall into that part of this world out there. So, there is a fact that you need to be able to back up and have the expertise to deliver whatever it is you're selling. And it could be that you're a few steps ahead of your ideal audience, and your marketing and the way you're communicating that can reflect that, right? But you do need to have full trust that you can actually deliver what you're selling. Now, the impact of this, if you do have this confidence, is you are willing to show up, you are willing to make it known that you are an authority in the space, that you are worth listening to, that you have special skills that other people in your niche or your market don't have, because that's what people are going to be attracted to. Now, this having conviction in your product, the missing ingredient for a lot of people, it is very much, we're kind of delving into the energetics side of things. So my philosophy around online courses is very much based on the strategy, but also the mindset and also the energetic side of things. So that means how you are energetically communicating with your audience, but also how you are able to harness your energy to actually show up and implement that strategy, because you can have the greatest strategy in the world, but if you don't believe in what you're selling, or you are having that imposter syndrome, or you are doubting yourself at every step of the way, it is going to be so much harder. And it is something that I see all of the time if you are familiar with my past offers, you've been listening to this podcast for some time, you will know that most of my work in this space has been by coaching people one-on-one. In a one-on-one situation, I find a lot of people share with me like the emotional side of it, and something that comes up again and again is this thought of being an imposter and worrying that your course isn't up to scratch, so that, which then stops you from actually then promoting it because you're worried of being too loud just in case someone signs up and they don't love it. And this is a very real fear for a lot of people. Now, having conviction in what you're offering is not about gaslighting yourself into thinking that it's the most excellent thing since sliced bread and everyone on the entire planet should buy your course. It's actually about realizing that this is very valuable for the people signing up. It is a journey for you all to go on together, and knowing that you can help people and that it doesn't need to be perfect the first time. It is about building that self-trust that whatever this journey will take you, or wherever this journey will take you, you have the ability to go with that. So instead of doubting yourself and actually giving all of this time and energy to this thought that you feel like you have imposter syndrome, which I feel like is a buzzword or a buzz belief, right? What can you do to actually shift that so you are focusing on building that self-belief, that self-trust, knowing that whatever comes your way, you're going to be able to handle it, that what you're offering is really good and you're willing to shout it out from the rooftops. That could be so many self-development things. It could be affirmations, journaling, nervous system regulation. Like, this stuff really, really matters. And I believe that working on strengthening our own inner selves has such a big impact on our results and our ability to show up in our business. You've got to find a way to own your expertise, to own it and believe in it. And if you feel like you don't right now, then I want you to do what you have to do in order to change that. Now, this is not always about improving the product. One thing that I notice is that we're somewhat addicted to feeling like the imposter. So it's not always about like there's actually a problem with the product, I shouldn't be teaching this, that kind of thing. It's actually more about backing yourself more, believing in what you have, knowing with confidence that you know what you're talking about and you can absolutely help people. I think there's a real aversion to that word expert. But let's be real, if you have knowledge that you can share with people that is going to help them on their journey, you are an expert, so it's time to claim it. But what happens is that when we think about being an expert, all of these impostery thoughts come up like, well, someone else is better at this, or they're more famous, or they've done this and done that. And there's that voice that's saying they're better than you, you can't compete. And I just say it's all rubbish. It really, really is. If you know that you can help people, which from all of the people I've worked with, I know that you are often the most kind-hearted, very skilled people who can sometimes downplay your achievements and compare yourself to others. You really need to work on owning that you are an expert, you are an authority, you know how to help people because most of you are already doing it in some way, shape, or form. It is about stepping into being seen in that, because when it comes to online courses, there is a big element of marketing, right? Which has so many benefits. Okay, there's like thought leadership, building an audience that you have forever, for the rest of your life, right? Once you build an audience, you have that. It's an asset. Depending on where it's built, all of that stuff comes into it. But if you are able to build a following, build authority in a space, it is something that people can't just take that away from you. But in order to step into that, you have to make the decision that you're willing to be seen in that space. You're willing to be seen as an authority. And you have to have that conviction, that self-belief, that self-trust that you belong in this space, that you are very much able to serve people, and that you very much belong there. Now, it is time to work on this if this is a problem for you. And I think it comes up within every launch, which, as I say, mindset is such an important part of launching. Being able to share what's going on for you and actually being able to work through it is key, because sometimes this imposter syndrome comes up at a time in our launch where we should really just be gunning for it, but instead we are worrying about what people think about us, all of that kind of stuff that comes up in launching, and it can stop you dead in your tracks. Now, 99% of the time, it is not about perfecting your offer, perfecting your sales page, any of that stuff. It is about you stepping into your power and stepping into a leadership role, which is essential so that people are willing to pay you for what you offer. Because when it comes to online courses, the truth is the ones who are the loudest are the ones that are going to win. It's not always about having the most perfect product. It is actually about being willing to step into that place of leadership. So I encourage you today to think about ways that you can create that inner conviction, that inner self-trust, that inner self-belief that you very, very, very much belong in the space of selling your online course, and taking that into your first or your next launch so that you can launch with confidence, so that you can execute your strategy from start to finish, so that you absolutely show up and give it your all, because it is such an important part, and I feel like it is something that we don't talk about enough, and it is missing for a lot of people. So build that conviction. I can't say this enough. So that is my message for you today. I think it is so important. It is really time to believe in yourself, in your power, in your place, to position yourself as an expert, as a leader, because you absolutely are. Thanks so much for listening today. I hope you enjoyed this quick little episode. And I also wanted to share with you that you absolutely must get on the waitlist for Moneymakers. I am going to be releasing an amazing offer for you soon. It is only going out to the people on the waitlist. So you can hop on the waitlist at loublakely.com/waitlist. I'm also going to put that link below in the description and in the show notes for you. I hope to see you in there, and I'll also see you on the next episode. Thanks, course creators and go-getters. You're incredible, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit subscribe in your podcast app so you don't miss an episode. If you'd like to find out more about what I offer, head across to loublakely.com. See you next time.